I'm super happy to be here. Thank you. I'm also super privileged that you did the whole breathing thing just before me, so I expect you to be ready. So I hope you know what fat phobia is. Yeah? Okay. Anyway, well, actually, I'm not getting that far into it, but if you have questions, feel free to ask. And after, though, because we only have 20 seconds with Pikachu every time. So, all right, let's hit it. So, actually, everything is because of internet. Everything I do, my activism, I found it online. I found my causes online. And why the hearts is because of my husband, who told me one day, you should have a blog. You have ideas. You have things to say. And I was like, yeah, but I want to do something new, something that doesn't exist already. So that's why I started looking when I came back from India and realized there was no blog about plus-size travel. So I self-taught myself how to blog, how to write for internet, how to optimize for search engines, how to do everything, basically, how to use plugins and platforms. And I self-taught myself into starting a very first platform that's called the Plus Size Backpacker. Yes, that's a real tarantula. That's a wild one. So I started that platform back in 2013. So 6.5 years ago, this was the very first platform dedicated to traveling for plus-size women. I wanted to be a travel blogger, but I also wanted to be a plus-size travel blogger because there was nothing like it. And I like to do new stuff. So there was a lot of work involved. As I said, it was self-taught. There was a lot of time. There was a lot of energy put in there. And that's something that you need to remember when you get into something. Don't go into something that you're just semi-interested about, because there is so much work to put into it, and there's so little return sometimes on your time and energy investments. And so 3 years later, after so much work, I released the first ebook. That's called The Ultimate Guide to Plus-Size Backpacking. So it still exists. It's on Amazon. And I thought this was probably the best way to share, again, through the web and through online resources, what I do and help other women tackle travels. I also started attending events like the Women in Travel Summit that's mostly built around online communities of travelers and travel bloggers. And I was able to meet women who shared my struggle, and we exchanged, we networked, we connected. And the picture above is mostly all the plus-size travel blogger that exists right now, the picture on top. And then one day, one morning in 2017, on June 30th, I received a tweet from a guy from France about an article asking me if I'd seen it. And this is when I became a fat phobia activist, because the article was literally putting a target on fat women's back. It was saying such awful things, and I said, no way that this is just gonna go through and nothing's gonna happen without the shadow of a blame. So I wrote back to the columnist and I said, listen, you have to respect us. I started to answer everything that she brought up, and I said, this cannot go that way. And this is basically how I got the idea to start looking into other women's work in terms of fat phobia, and to connect, and things went in motion. This is when I started being more active, because plus-size travel was just an opening door, and that took me to the creation of this website that started 3 months ago. It was the website's 3 months birthday 2 days ago. And so grossophobie.ca is a very first platform in French dedicated to explaining fat phobia, educating people. And this was really something that I thought of overnight. And if it wasn't, again, for online resources, this wouldn't exist. The snowflake is because we're all often called snowflakes when we're dreamers and when we're so special. And I wanted to create a platform that would be a snowflake online, a platform that would not just say people what was wrong, that would not just tell people, listen, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this right, but explain to them what's wrong and explain to them what's right and how they can change things. I wanted to do a platform that could start a real change. That was the idea, and since there was nothing else like it, well, this was the chance to do it. So start, with a little thing that would put the whole thing in motion, and then 3 months later, here I am. So that's, quite fast. Allyship is something that you should never neglect. when you create a cause, because it's not just a fat women's thing. It's a fat man's thing. It's a thin people thing. Everybody suffers from discrimination towards fat people, from the weight stigma. And this is why it's so important to ally and rally people around you. Actually, I was lucky to get to meet some fantastic women who just came up to me and said, listen, we want to work with you. We want to give you our time. We want to give you our skills. And people that I didn't even know. But if it wasn't, again, for the net, this platform wouldn't exist. These people wouldn't exist. My inspiration wouldn't be there. I wouldn't have access to so much events and things to comment on, because we use general events and popular culture to start to dismantle the cliches and all the mechanics that creates weight stigma on this platform. And this is why the net, again, is so important, because it brings us a never-ending source of ideas and of science. Because when you fight a fight like this one, when you go into such controversial topics, you need the science behind you. And lucky for us, now they start to have science that backs the fact that shaming fat people makes them sicker. And then you got the trolls too. And I think we all know that. And you have to learn to let it go. That's part of the thing. It means it's working. If people are starting to get at you, it's working. And then you got the science anyway to back yourself up. And if they don't believe science, then what you gonna do? I mean, if they want to fight science, that's their own prerogative. That's me there, the little grumbly bear. Because yeah, sometimes the trolls can do their damage, but I found, again, so much support online from fantastic women and men who support this cause, who believe in it, and who actually helped me go through. And if it wasn't for the net, I wouldn't be here today. I feel so thankful for this opportunity, because this is giving me a platform that I want to use, to do the right thing. And then this next slide is just not coming fast enough. I never thought I would. So yeah, here it is. So use the net, use it well, use it to do good, use it to, bring awareness to things that matters to you, that, use it to change the world. It's possible, you can do it. And yeah, thank you.